Ladies and gentlemen, the 15-year tradition of Super Indy Tournament continues here in Elizabeth, Pennsylvania. Joe Dabrowski, Jay Worthington Farnsworth to celebrate a decade and a half of Super Indy excellence with the 15th annual tournament.
Kids, every year I give a prediction. I tell you who's going to win it. And every year I fall way short of that mark. But this year, I turn it around, Joe. You're looking at the winner of Super Indy. Mark my words. The man with the golden hips, Sex Luger himself, Darin Dinero.
Darin Dinero qualified with a victory. Darin Dinero with a victory over Dave Christ on the way to Super Indy prominence. Perhaps even more impressive than his qualifying matchup was his victory over the trendsetter, the innovator of Super Indy, that being Super Hentai.
Unfortunately, sorry Dave to interrupt you. We have some unfortunate news here tonight. I found out earlier this morning Zachary Wentz was unable to compete tonight. He injured his ankle in an event last night. He is here, but after we checked him out, he was unable to compete. And so we initially thought that we would move Darin on to the second round. But Darin, I know you wouldn't ever want that. You want to earn this. And I know that you guys paid to see an 8-man tournament. So we made a few calls to a few former Super Indy champions. And we got a new entrant to tonight's tournament.
What?
Well, if Zachary's out, who's in?
Standby entrant here tonight.
Did it just get cold in here?
Talk about somebody with Super Indy experience. With the field of 8 as we knew it, only 2 men, I believe, have a history in this prestigious field. Throw that out the window. Jayworth, I believe this would be the New Age Plague Gory's 7th Super Indy tournament. I believe that's a record.
Yeah, I was going to say, that surpasses... that even surpasses Super Hentai, I think. Normally when I need to find that out, I check with Dombrowski.
And check out the reaction of this crowd. A hush has settled over the Court Time Sports Center as the vibe of the mood certainly changes. Zachary Wentz is an explosive young athlete, not altogether unlike Gory on the surface, but an ankle injury did cause Zachary to go back from whence he came, and as a result, Gory brought into the mix as, I'm not sure if you want to call him a ringer, but a man who's held the Super Indy title, held the tag team titles, and is a veteran of this atmosphere.
Let's make no mistake, if anyone knows how to get that title and knows what the cost of that title, it's Gory.
We've seen Gory absolve friendships, partnerships, and almost turn into an animalistic, carnivorous creature, all in the pursuit of gold and glory. And Darin with the side headlock. Darin certainly the upper body mass to be at an advantage in this match. Gory, a great choice though, as the #1 standby entrant. Think about the Competitive nature of his matchup back at the 15th anniversary this past March against technically still Super Indy champion Andrew Palace.
Yeah, good. Very good point, Joe. Well, you are making some good points early on here.
I apologize for making you uncomfortable.
Try not to waste all that genius in the early part of it. By the end of this, you'll just be,
You're speaking nicely, or at least by your standards. I think that means you want to borrow money.
I'm not going to give it back, Joe.
There's a tackle. Dinero sends Gory to the canvas.
I was going to say, the one place that Gory cannot compete with Dinero here is pure power.
Dinero has been following the Super Indy Championship for about a decade now. He used to sit in the crowd of IWC Wrestling and watch, former IWC Super Indy champion, the late great Sweet and Sour Larry Sweeney, and many others. You watch the IWC DVDs and digital releases from IndyWrestling.us closely, you'll see Darin in the crowd. You'll see him watching and dreaming of a day that may be to come. That day has arrived here tonight.
And a beautiful set of arm drags by Gory. Oh, and now just slapping into the chest. You know how much that hurts? Whoa!
Amazing body control. Gory can use his anatomy as an offensive weapon perhaps like no other. And Gory charges, but Darin meets him. Little swagger, little confidence from Darin.
Like you said, Darin's been preparing for this for years.
Many of Darin's friends and family are here tonight. He was profiled in the Mon Valley Independent, his local newspaper here down around Elizabeth. They talked about a pro wrestler, Darin, living his dream and going for championship glory here tonight. Count of one. Can Darin's name be added to a list that includes the likes of AJ Styles, Chris Sabin, Colt Cabana, John McChesney, DJ Z, and many others?
Well, before we ever find out if that name can be added, he has to get past Gory, which is no easy task.
Not at all. As Darin elevates Gory, the one-man flapjack. 2-0. And Dinero and Wentz, certainly you have to have a different state of mind in that matchup compared to Dinero and Gory. Gory, the biting, the animalistic nature, the ruthlessness. Wentz is a very breathtaking performer, but it's hard to draw a comparison to Gory, mind, body, and soul.
It is. You have to figure this has to throw Darin Dinero's game plan off because Gory will find whatever boundaries you have and cross them. He does not care what it takes. He will do it if it throws you off your game.
This could do it here, 2-0.
And if it means he can pick up a win, or not even if he can pick up a win, if he can just make sure that you feel the pain of that loss.
Traditional 8-man tournament. Some Super Indies have had upwards of 10 or even 14 competitors in years gone by. But we're back to the one-on-one single elimination format as Gory, again, using his body as an offensive weapon, drives all that weight into the upper body of Dinero.
Zero resistance clothesline into the corner.
Yeah. Focuses his target behind Dinero in that regard. And now the springboard. Gory connects with a low drop kick. Cover here. Can he trap the shoulders? 2-0. That's all he'll get. Can you imagine Gory, who was, up until we went on the air, as far as we knew, not a part of this tournament? Gory could come in and win this and turn Super Indy completely upside down.
Very true. You have to believe that no one here was planning to fight someone the likes of Gory. Oh.
And there you see Gory digging in. And again, some people would say statistically Palace is the best of the field here tonight, and he just barely overcame Gory a couple of months ago. Dinero with a boot. Gosh.
That's 2 in a row. Gory's still standing and still has the wherewithal to block this, I'm guessing a German suplex.
Oh, it could be the final payment. Dinero's put many a man away with this. Gory trying to hang on. Submission attempt. Rather not a submission, it's illegal, but certainly a hold that does its damage.
Cutting off that airway, cutting off the blood. And you and I want to point out those were 2 huge boots to the head, and Gory just shook it off.
That holds shades of Corey Graves some year back. Another former Super Indy champion as Dinero with a released T-bone. Could this be all? 2-0.
Pound for pound, Gory might be the most resilient man I've ever seen in IWC. We've seen him take abuse and stand right back up and continue fighting.
But a lot of spotlight's been on Darin. Jay Worth, what do you think is the biggest strength Darin Dinero brings to the table?
I think he has, in this match or total?
Overall.
I don't know that anyone wants it more than Darin Dinero, outside of possibly Palace.
Oh, Dinero caught him on the rebound with a clothesline, hooking the leg, but Gory has an answer.
Like I said, Palace has the title. Palace knows what it means to keep it, but Dinero has, like you said, has been watching this since he was a kid. He finally has his shot. I don't know that he necessarily wants it any less.
Keep in mind, though, Gory has been competing in these matches since he was a kid. First Super Indy 4, age 18.
Yeah, very true.
Gory springboarding in. Stepped off a beautiful Hurricane Rana. Great adjustment by Gory. Dinero's got more upper body and total body mass, but Gory does not let that be a detractor.
Well, I want to point out Dinero, one of the smarter moves I've seen, saw that Hurricane Rana coming. Oh! Stepped into it, which changes how you have to move your body around. Throws a lot of people off. Not Gory, he just corrected.
Gory puts multiple revolutions to get the most out of that impact. And what an ovation as these fans appreciate the embodiment of Super Indy. Gory with a cover for 2.
He bounces up just a little off that top rope and then just lets gravity pull him right down onto Darin Dinero. Good hard thud.
Dinero, not a lot of tournament experience from my understanding. Endurance is a huge, huge key in this tournament, especially when we get to the later round matchups.
Keeping gas in the tank.
How do you justify trying to pace yourself versus fighting for your life from Gory gnawing at your skull?
Well, the thing is, right now, you can't think about pacing. You have to think about, I need to get to the next round.
Dinero just needs to get a breath in his body at this point. As Gory, I've seen him utilize this submission. Not sure he's used it in IWC. If Gory can drop back, it's almost like watching a death in a horror movie. That's how quickly he snaps it off. But Dinero backs Gory into the ropes, negates that opportunity.
That upper torso strength didn't let him snap that off.
Gory fighting his way out of the corner.
Whoa.
QAS! A Gory staple for many years. Got him now!
Planted that perfectly too, Joe. Right down across on the back of the neck.
And you and I could go through the old DVDs and digital files and find many a man who could not kick out of the QAS.
Very true. We've called it for years. Oh!
Pestilence! That controversial submission is going to cut off the air of Dinero. Darin will begin to fade unless he thinks of something quickly. Notice the neck strength of Gory to bridge up and keep his own shoulders off the mat. But Darin elevates Gory. Breaks the grip.
Oh!
He calls that greetings from Elizabeth. Darin hooks the leg. Darin moves on. A man who's watched it all his life, a man who should have been qualified last year if not for a technicality. The guns go back in the holster for the Tinder terrorist Jay Worth. What did you like most about Dinero in this outing?
Well, I like the fact that he was able to adapt, and improve. This was not the person he thought he was going to be going against, but he changed his game plan, adapted to Gory, which in and of itself is a feat, and he moves on in the tournament. Like I said, my pick to take the title.
You never know when the ominous Gory will resurface, but he leaves here showing respect. No one in this building tonight knows the rigors of Super Indy more than the New Age Plague. Darin Dinero passed his first test. If he's lucky, there's 2 more to go, however.